Dear chosen one, if you're watching this right now, I urge you to pause. This isn't just another video. It's not something you chanced upon by accident. It's a divine encounter orchestrated by heaven itself. God is ensuring you cannot overlook this moment, as your spirit has been drawn here for a purpose. The instant your eyes locked onto the number 0000 on the thumbnail, it sparked something within you. That number 0000 is no mere coincidence. It's a sacred sign from heaven symbolizing God's infinite presence, the completion of His divine work, and the promise of a transformative new beginning in your life. Why are you here at this precise moment? Do you feel a stirring deep within, a sense that a monumental shift is unfolding tonight? This video is your divine call to prepare for a life-changing transformation that God is igniting right now. Chosen ones, don't turn away. This is the moment heaven is moving in your favor. Join our global family of faith. Share in the comments your city or country to unite with others and type 0000 to declare your readiness for God's powerful work. If this message touches your soul, give a thumbs up to spread this divine promise and subscribe to stay connected to God's unfolding plan. Stay with me, for tonight's transformation is happening, and you are meant to receive it. Tonight is not just another evening passing quietly beneath the stars. It is a divine appointment written in the scrolls of heaven. The pieces of your life that once felt scattered and uncertain are now aligning with supernatural precision. Everything is moving into place, and something beyond comprehension is stirring. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for, often in silence, sometimes through pain, but always with purpose. You are not here by coincidence. You have been set apart. And now the time has come for your transformation to begin. A heavenly shift is about to unfold, and it starts tonight. This isn't just spiritual growth. It is a divine metamorphosis that will reach into every layer of your being, your body, your emotions, your mind, your soul. God is calling you into a deeper dimension of your true identity. The heavens have declared this time as sacred. Over the next 4 nights, you are stepping into a process that is both holy and intense. Just as Jacob wrestled with the angel through the night and walked away with a new name and a divine limp, you too will emerge from this encounter changed. Will you recognize yourself when the dust of transformation settles? Think about how Moses spent 40 nights on Mount Sinai alone with God, surrounded by cloud and fire. When he came down, his face shone with glory. He had been transformed not just spiritually, but physically, radiating the evidence of divine encounter. This is your mountain moment. But unlike Moses, you're not ascending a physical mountain. You're climbing the terrain within your soul. You felt the tug, the discomfort, the unshakable sense that you were made for something more. Now God confirms it. The time for confirmation is over. This is the time for manifestation. Your body may feel strange tonight. Energy, heat, vibrations. You may not be able to explain them, but they're signals of God at work. Have you noticed certain dreams becoming more vivid? Has your mind been flooded with memories, emotions, or sudden clarity? These are not random. They are divine codes awakening inside you. Just as Joseph's dreams were keys to his destiny, your inner visions are rising now because you are stepping into a new assignment. You were chosen for this even before you were formed in your mother's womb. Contemporary motivational expert and writer Lisa Nichols, formerly a solo parent, relying on government aid, frequently discusses how she needed to let go of her former identity before embracing the individual she was destined to become. She states, "You have to be willing to transform so radically that you scare your old self." That is the kind of transformation being released into your life tonight. It is not gentle. It is not familiar. It is holy. But transformation does not come without resistance. Jesus himself went into the wilderness for 40 days. There his identity was tested, his strength was forged, and the angels ministered to him after the trial. The process you're entering is not unlike that wilderness. You may feel stretched, confronted, or uncertain, but you are not alone. The angels have already been assigned. The Holy Spirit is moving ahead of you, and your inner fire, though once faint, is about to blaze. The upcoming 4 evenings represent a dedicated period in the calendar. Each instant will hold significance. Every period has been crafted with intent. While you rest your head at night, recognize that this isn't regular slumber. It serves as holy groundwork. The celestial realm operates during your repose. Are you sensing it? Are you detecting the draw on your essence that indicates you are evolving? This path isn't merely for motivation. It represents ignition and alteration so deep that those nearby will observe and ponder the occurrence. And similar to the disciples who received the Holy Spirit during Pentecost and communicated in fresh languages, you as well will act distinctly, express uniquely, and proceed with fresh command. You won't have to proclaim it. Your aura will convey it. As the transformation begins tonight, understand this. The discomfort is holy, the stretching is sacred, and the strange sensations are signs that your spiritual DNA is being rewritten. You are rising into the version of you that has always existed in God's plan. You are not evolving. You are being revealed. You've waited. You've wept. You've wondered if your time would ever come. Now God is saying, it's happening. Heaven has ordained it. The Spirit is ready. Are you? During the progression of these holy evenings, you'll start to observe a gentle dismantling inside. Former aspects of your identity, the uncertainties, the anxieties, the routines that failed to match your heavenly role will commence to detach. It might lack ease. Actually, it will probably prove demanding, yet it remains sacred. You might find moments of confusion, even fear. But remember, every time God called someone higher, it came with the unknown. When Abram was told to leave his homeland, there was no map, only faith. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, there was no logic, only trust in the voice of Jesus. What will happen when you trust God that way tonight? With every evening that elapses, the metamorphosis will intensify. You'll detect an expanding buoyancy in your physique, a fresh sharpness in your ideas, a harmony in your essence that synchronizes with the celestial rhythm. The greater you're yielding to the procedure, the further your core begins to emerge, the untainted, luminous form of yourself, untouched by dread, disgrace, or restriction. The cosmos isn't merely directing you. It reacts to you since the authentic you commences to stir. This doesn't concern gradual, incremental alteration. This pertains to heavenly hastening. You aren't solely undergoing change. You're emerging akin to an artist chiseling away rock to uncover the sculpture concealed within. The Almighty eliminates all that you aren't to disclose all that you genuinely represent. Have you ever wondered what might happen if the full potential God placed inside you was finally activated? One modern voice who speaks to this kind of radical internal awakening is Dr. Caroline Leaf, a cognitive neuroscientist and Christian author. She teaches that when our thoughts align with God's design, our brains literally rewire to unlock higher states of peace, resilience, and purpose. This is not just spiritual language, it's divine science. The shift that is happening in you is working on every level: your biology, your spirit, your emotional body. Are you able to envision the appearance of your existence when each component of your being starts functioning in sacred unity? This isn't simply a metaphysical refresh. It constitutes a comprehensive physical and ethereal overhaul. Over the years, you've associated with your mortality, your marks, your loads, your conflicts. However, the Lord never perceived you merely as tissue and skeleton. He viewed you as a bearer of splendor. The shroud lifts at this moment. The deceptions incinerate. The restricted edition of your identity rests eternally. And emerging in its stead is an entity wholly novel, yet utterly authentic. You represent a sacred entity selected by the architect of existence, positioned on this planet during this precise era to accomplish a task no other can undertake. The transformation ahead is not a threat. It is your liberation. These 4 nights are the key to unlocking abilities and spiritual technologies that have lain dormant within you, waiting for the right frequency, the right moment, the right surrender. And now is that moment. You may begin to feel strange tingles in your body, vivid dreams, heightened emotions. These are signs. Your cells are aligning. Your spiritual gifts are activating. It is like the seed that has been hidden in dry soil suddenly touched by rain and sun, bursting through the earth to claim its place in the light. That seed is you. The heavens have proclaimed, it is your moment to flourish. Do you detect the movements of an age-old and timeless force rousing within you? That's not a figment of your mind. That's foretelling coming to fruition. You aren't merely entering a fresh phase, you're adopting a novel persona. And the whole cosmos has anticipated your awareness of it. By the time these sacred 4 nights come to completion, the lens through which you perceive the world will no longer be the same. Your inner vision, clouded by years of fear, doubt, and limitation, will begin to clear. You'll look at yourself differently. You'll walk through the world with a renewed sense of purpose and power. No longer will you see yourself as merely human. You will know deep in your spirit that you are a vessel of divine light, chosen for something far greater than ordinary life. This transformation is not symbolic. It is cellular. It is not just about spiritual enlightenment, but about divine embodiment. You are being prepared to live at a new frequency. And that frequency will not only shift your soul, it will reshape your body, your mind, and your energy field. The changes may begin subtly, but they will be undeniable. Have you noticed your body responding differently? Has your restlessness increased, or has your hunger changed? These are not random. They are signs that your internal system is adjusting to receive what was once too powerful for you to hold. What arrives during these evenings surpasses what numerous individuals comprehend as metaphysical development. It exceeds supplication, contemplation, or internal tranquility. This represents a heavenly readjustment of your complete entity. Just as the female afflicted with bleeding was promptly cured upon contacting the edge of Christ's robe, as described in Luke chapter 8, verses 43 through 48, you likewise are grazing something holy this evening, a celestial rhythm that will alter each aspect of you. Her recovery proves swift, yet not mild. Energy erupted from Christ in a manner that astonished even him. Are you able to picture what it signifies for that identical energy to stream into you currently? As each night progresses, your body will begin to release energies that have been buried deep within. These are not just bad habits or emotional wounds. They are energetic blockages that have kept your divine potential locked away. Some of them have been with you for years. Others may have been inherited across generations. But now, under the covering of God's timing, they are being uprooted and released. It will not be a quiet process. The transformation may come with hunger, tension, or even moments of emotional upheaval. But do not fear these sensations. They are proof that the old structures are crumbling. Think of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, sweating drops of blood, overwhelmed by the weight of transformation, yet choosing surrender. His body trembled, but his spirit was unwavering. What if your physical unrest right now is part of the same divine surrender celebrated business innovator and metaphysical philosopher Steve Jobs formerly remarked? The individuals bold enough to believe they can alter the globe are those who achieve it. However, imagine if that boldness was truly a sacred summons. What if the agitation in your essence isn't bewilderment, but validation? As these coverings detach from you, the genuine you, the chosen one, the illuminator, will at last manage to appear. You are not just going through a spiritual upgrade, you are undergoing a resurrection. Just as Lazarus was called out of the tomb by name, you are being summoned out of every dead version of yourself. Every part of you that was buried beneath shame, exhaustion, or fear is rising again in glory. And with each passing night, you will feel lighter, stronger, more aligned with heaven's frequency. Your body is not weak. It is a vessel of divine intelligence. These next 4 nights will reveal how powerful it truly is. As your energy system is cleansed, you will begin to emit high-frequency vibrations that not only shift your reality, but affect the atmosphere around you. You'll walk into rooms and people will feel something. They may not understand it, but they will know they're in the presence of someone different, someone chosen. These frequencies that move through you are not random. They are sacred. They are God's design built into you before you were ever born. Psalm 139 states, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." That means every cell in your body is encoded with divine possibility. And now those codes are being activated. While these forces ascend, you might experience odd feelings, occasionally restless, famished, even weary. But imagine if that unease isn't an issue, but a marker. What if your physique isn't deteriorating, but opening up? The former forces the falsehoods you accepted, the wounds you bore. The burden of unexpressed loads are being expelled. And in their stead, fresh sacred rhythms are being embedded. Your metaphysical heritage is being revised. This transformation isn't just for you. The world is watching, even if silently. When your light changes, it forces others to reckon with their shadows. But do not shrink back. Let the process complete. Let the discomfort refine. Let the energy cleanse. Because what awaits on the other side of these 4 nights is more than a better version of you. It is the truest version, the one who walks in clarity and power in divine authority, the one who lives not by fear but by fire, the one who has become the light. As your body continues to vibrate with newly awakened frequencies, something sacred is happening within you. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but in the spirit realm, your light is intensifying. These frequencies are not only healing and transforming your inner being, they are attracting divine blessings toward you like never before. It's as if heaven has opened a spiritual magnet within you, drawing in abundance, love, provision, and purpose. Have you noticed the shift already? Are certain doors beginning to open with ease? Have people appeared in your life carrying exactly what you've prayed for? These are not coincidences. They are divine responses to the energy you're now emitting. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart, as Psalm 37 verse 4 confirms. Your alignment with God is aligning everything else, but with great spiritual elevation comes the need for intentional protection. The vibrations now moving through your being are sacred, delicate, and powerful. Not everyone around you will understand or resonate with them, and that's okay. Even Jesus was misunderstood by His own hometown, as Mark chapter 6 verses 4 through 6 mentions. He didn't force them to believe. He simply moved forward with His purpose. Can you accept that not everyone is meant to walk with you through this transformation? Some people in your life may begin to feel distant or energetically heavy. You may notice that certain conversations drain you more than they used to. It's not because those people are inherently bad. It's simply that their frequency no longer matches what God is birthing inside of you. When Jesus went to heal Jairus' daughter in Mark chapter 5, he only allowed a few trusted disciples into the room. Why? Because the miraculous requires an atmosphere of faith. Are you willing to guard your atmosphere? This is a sacred moment to choose silence over distraction, solitude over noise, and spiritual clarity over worldly approval. Surround yourself with those who stir your faith, not your fear. Find those who reflect the fire you carry. If that means standing alone for a while, so be it. Even Elijah had to go to the mountain alone before he heard the still small voice of God, as 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 11 through 12 teaches. You are not just being healed, you are being restructured from the inside out. Over these 4 nights, your body is becoming a divine instrument radiating frequencies that resonate with heaven itself. Your spiritual DNA is being activated. These frequencies are not random. They are holy communications inscribed in your essence from prior to your arrival. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 reveals, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." What does it mean to live as someone set apart? As these energies rise, you may feel strange sensations, tingling, heat, hunger, fatigue. These are signs of release. The heaviness you've carried sometimes for years is being stripped away. Can you feel the weight leaving your chest? The tightness lifting from your shoulders? These are not symptoms to fear. They are confirmations that you are being delivered from what once kept you bound. With each breath, you are shedding old timelines and stepping into divine time. With each night, the blockages are being cleared, and the power within you is beginning to bloom. Just as Lazarus was called out of the tomb after 4 days, you're being called out of every dead, forgotten part of yourself. And just as he came forth in resurrection power, you too are rising. Your inner guidance will amplify. Your metaphysical perceptions will hone. You'll commence to comprehend matters you haven't examined. Sense occurrences prior to their manifestation and identify sacred designs where others perceive mere happenstance. What if the exact elements you formerly rejected as fantasy were truly prediction? What if the tone within you was perpetually the almighty murmuring in a dialect you're solely now starting to grasp? Even your inventiveness will commence to stream liberally, unobstructed and motivated by sacred flame. Like Bezalel in Exodus 31, who was filled with the Spirit of God for craftsmanship and artistic design, your talents will be empowered not by effort alone, but by heavenly anointing. Exodus chapter 31 verse 3 affirms, "I have filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom, in understanding, in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship." Could it be that your gifts were never lost, only dormant, waiting for this activation? And what about your physical body? You will no longer see it as a limitation, but as a living sanctuary, a holy temple for divine power. Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit?" That's not a metaphor. It's your reality. Now your cells are responding. Your organs are awakening. Your entire system is aligning with the frequency of heaven. This is why you must be mindful of what and who you allow into your space. Not everyone is meant to hear this song you're beginning to sing. Not everyone can understand the language of light, but those who are meant for you will feel the shift. They'll be drawn to your radiance not because you chase them, but because the Spirit in you speaks to the Spirit in them. Therefore, inquire of yourself softly, who genuinely backs your ascent, who depletes your vitality, and who restores it, which tones ignite your objective, and which ones silence it. As your metamorphosis intensifies, sharpness will arrive. Certain bonds will organically detach. Others will ascend in their stead, heavenly dispatched to accompany you into your subsequent phase. Permit it all to develop. Allow it all to depart. Since you chosen one are advancing into a magnificence that cannot be articulated, merely encountered, by the end of these sacred 4 nights, you will feel as if a veil has been lifted from your soul. The haze that once clouded your perception will dissolve, and your spiritual senses long dormant will awaken. The world around you will no longer feel flat or limited. Colors may appear more vibrant. Time may feel more fluid. And you may begin to sense things beyond what the natural eye can see. This is not your imagination. This is the unveiling. You're no longer confined to the dense limitations of flesh alone. You're now aligned with a divine frequency that allows you to access dimensions of reality your mind had only dreamed of. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears because they hear, as Matthew chapter 13 verse 16 proclaims. These words spoken by Jesus were not just for his disciples. They were for every chosen one who would one day awaken. Could it be that this verse is now speaking directly to you? What you encounter represents the commencement of your rousing, not an ultimate goal, but a holy entrance. Your alteration merely starts to reveal itself. And akin to each holy delivery, it arrives with indicators of tightening liberation, and occasionally even agony. These 4 evenings aren't a withdrawal. They constitute an inauguration. Your physique, intellect, and essence are advancing into the celestial rhythm, and all that fails to harmonize with that rhythm must detach. That's why you may feel sudden pangs of hunger, deep and almost primal. But this hunger is not merely for food. It is a craving for something higher. You are starving for truth, for alignment, for the wholeness of your divine self. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, as Matthew chapter 4 verse 4 explains. Your soul is yearning to be fed with eternal light. You could likewise discover yourself engulfed by surges of alarm, uneasiness, or peculiar bodily distress. Occasionally, these perceptions might seem as if an issue exists. But imagine if these emotions aren't indicators of injury, but of recovery. Could it be that the alarm is the ultimate cry of terror, attempting to cling as you advance into your sacred command? Consider how the descendants of Israel sensed just prior to traversing the Red Sea, the adversary trailing them, the unfamiliar before them, and yet they stood on the brink of their supreme emancipation. Their terror didn't signify they followed the incorrect route. It indicated they were on the verge of sacred territory. Is that what your distress is attempting to convey to you currently? Your body is releasing years, maybe lifetimes of stagnant energy. Trauma, grief, guilt, lies, and limitations that were never yours to carry are now surfacing to be purged. The tension in your chest, that's the armor breaking. The tightness in your stomach, that's years of suppressed emotion dissolving. Each sensation is a sign. The shift is real. Famed orator Brené Brown formerly remarked, "You can select bravery or you can select ease, but you cannot select both." During these 4 evenings, you have already opted for bravery, and bravery signifies accepting distress as an indicator that advancement is revealing itself. Are you willing to see your pain as proof that the old is leaving to make space for the new? Every moment of anxiety is a reminder that you are crossing a threshold. Your soul is not afraid of transformation. It is only your ego that trembles. But even that fear is sacred because it reveals how much you are being asked to release. You are no longer the person who clung to comfort. You are becoming the person who walks boldly into the light. Instead of resisting these sensations, meet them with reverence. See them as sacred messengers. When you feel hunger, say to yourself, I am being filled with divine light. When you feel panic, declare, "This is the fear leaving my body to make room for peace." Your words are not just affirmations, they are spiritual commands. You have the authority to name your experience, and in naming it, you begin to master it. Every uncomfortable wave is a sign that your body is recalibrating. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. You are not unraveling. You are being restructured. And with each breath, you are moving closer to the divine version of yourself that has waited patiently beneath the surface. You aren't solitary in this. The heavens observe. Celestial beings administer. The sacred essence murmurs verity into your core. Behold, I make all things new, as Revelation chapter 21 verse 5 announces. That renewal is not happening in a distant future. It is happening right now in your bones, in your breath, in your being. And as you move through the final nights of this journey, remember, these aren't just physical symptoms. They are sacred signals. You are not dying. You are waking up. With each sacred night that passes, you will begin to feel a sense of profound lightness take root in your body and spirit. The heaviness you've carried sometimes unknowingly for years will start to lift. And this is no ordinary relief. It is the release of old entangled energies that have kept you bound, hidden, and disconnected from the fullness of your divine potential. These energies have long lived in the shadows of your body, stored in your muscles, your breath, your nervous system. But they are not meant to stay. They are being evicted. Have you ever wondered why you sometimes felt weighed down even when life appeared to be going well? Why certain emotional wounds kept resurfacing even after years of healing? These are the buried patterns, spiritual toxins that were programmed to keep you from stepping fully into your radiant crystalline form. But now, under the covering of these 4 divine nights, those blockages are being broken. The veil is lifting and your true self is emerging. You are instructed concerning your prior manner of existence to discard your former identity, to become renewed in the mindset of your thoughts, and to adopt the fresh identity fashioned to resemble the Lord in authentic virtue and sanctity, as Ephesians chapter 4 verses 22 through 24 instructs. Your former identity, the restricted, timid, wavering edition, is vanishing. In its position ascends a physique synchronized with sacred aim. You may feel this release in your physical body as though your system is purging, detoxing, or recalibrating. Discomfort may come in waves. Sudden warmth, tingling nausea, or strange sensations may arise. These are not signs of harm. They are evidence that something holy is leaving. That which was never meant to live in you is being uprooted. What if your physique isn't deceiving you, but bestowing upon you by ultimately releasing? What if the exhaustion you've borne was never yours initially? As the former forces exit your translucent physique, your authentic cleansed shape is being disclosed. This isn't imagination. This is metaphysical truth. Just as Moses' face shone after encountering God on Mount Sinai, as Exodus chapter 34 verse 29 describes, your body, once burdened, is beginning to emit divine frequencies. Light is radiating from within, not symbolic light, but energetic clarity that the spirit realm recognizes and responds to. You are being rebuilt into a temple fit for glory. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, as 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 reminds us? These aren't poetic metaphors. They're spiritual facts. Your body is not just matter. It is mission. It is a vessel fine-tuned by God to carry revelation, healing, and power. Each night you surrender. Each moment you allow the old to fall away. You will notice subtle but undeniable shifts. Your heart may beat with new steadiness. Your breath may deepen. You may feel less fatigue, more vitality. Have you already felt this surge, this inner clarity? It's not in your imagination. You're being elevated. Spiritual leader and best-selling author Ian Van Zandt once said, "The way to achieve your own success is to be willing to help somebody else get it first." But how can you lift others if you are still carrying the weight of what was never meant for you? These nights are not just about your transformation. They represent readying you to proceed in the command that aids in mending others. And to accomplish that, your essence must be buoyant sufficient to soar. Release dread, release opposition. These are the ultimate ties binding you to the prior realm. You aren't present to endure. You are present to radiate. As you shed what no longer serves you, are aligning with your divine design. Your energy field is becoming clear and radiant. You are attracting miracles not because you're chasing them, but because they are drawn to your frequency. Do you feel more alert lately? More present, more connected to a deeper current of peace running beneath your everyday awareness? That's the transformation working from the inside out. You are evolving into further of who you authentically represent and less of what society once persuaded you to embody. Each evening while you slumber, your essence moves. The sacred rhythms coursing through you are igniting ancient symbols, talents, vistas, and potencies that have remained dormant for ages. You might awaken sensing novel since you are. You are not simply healing. You are awakening. You are not just rising. You are ascending. You are not evolving into something different. You are becoming what you always were beneath the noise-chosen radiant eternal. And with each passing moment, your energy field expands. You are aligning with heaven's rhythm. The old layers, fear, doubt, fatigue are falling away. The new you, the one created in glory, is stepping into place. With every holy evening that elapses, your physique and essence are achieving profounder synchronization with the sacred plan inscribed inside you from the dawn of existence. You might already detect it, an increasing buoyancy in your torso, a profounder tranquility in your respiration, and a refreshed sharpness in your intellect. The loads that formerly appeared unmovable are disintegrating, and the conflicts of your history commence to diminish into the distance like far-off reverberations. No longer do they define you. You're beginning to see, perhaps for the first time, that you were always capable of so much more than you believed. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles, as Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 asserts. This is not just poetic language. It is the truth of what's happening to you now. You are being renewed from the inside out. You are not simply surviving. You are soaring. However, while your metaphysical form ascends into this fresh oscillation, your material form must likewise be ready to bear this illumination. Metamorphosis commences in the essence, but it requires backing in the material. Your physique, formerly oppressed by inferior oscillations, is evolving into a container for sacred rhythm, and that container must be sustained with the most unadulterated type of sustenance. What are you introducing into your sanctuary? The alteration you're encountering is genuine, and is not solely dynamic, it is molecular. The nourishments you consume, the liquid you ingest, the concepts you ponder, all form the stream of this metamorphosis. Alkaline water, known for its ability to purify and restore balance, is one of the most powerful tools you can use right now. It helps your body detoxify, allowing negative and stagnant energies to exit with greater ease. Have you noticed how certain foods make you feel heavy, tired, or clouded, while others leave you energized, clear, and vibrant? That's not your imagination. Each material bears a rhythm, and your physique can no longer endure what doesn't align with your sacred oscillation. This is why it is crucial to evade nourishments derived from anguish flesh, from creatures nurtured in terror, refined items packed with substances, and altered produce deprived of vitality. These items were not created for the physique you are developing. Rather shift to vegetation-derived natural sustenance. They carry the language of creation itself, the same language spoken by God in Genesis when he declared, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed." And God saw that it was good, as Genesis chapter 1 verses 11 through 12 recounts. Isn't it powerful to think that nature still echoes the original voice of God when you nourish your physique with what the Lord crafted in purity? You're not merely consuming, you are acquiring. You are ingesting the illumination, the symbols, the force that bolsters your elevation. What if the weariness you've been sensing isn't solely from tension, but from sustaining your ascending essence with nourishments too substantial to elevate you? A spiritual teacher and author, Anthony William, known as the medical medium, often says, "When we consume living foods from the earth, we support the living energy within us." He reminds us that food is not just nutrition, it's vibration. And during this pivotal transition, every bite matters. Are you providing your physique what it requires to elevate your essence higher? Your physique will commence to react. You'll feel more vitalized. Your intellect will prove sharper. Your core will pulsate with enhanced serenity and concentration. And your link to the sacred will seem less like an item to grasp and more like an item you merely embody. The clearer your vessel, the more freely God's energy flows through you. This act of sacred self-care is not indulgence. It is obedience. You are honoring the temple that carries your purpose. You are aligning yourself with the highest frequencies, creating space for divine power to dwell within you fully. Each cup of unadulterated liquid, each deliberate morsel of vitality, providing nourishment, each purposeful deed of repose and appreciation. These aren't minor selections. They represent metaphysical choices that synchronize you with the Lord's finest. And while you near the concluding stage of this metamorphosis, comprehend this: you are advancing into an edition of yourself that is luminous, potent, and complete. Your body is not being left behind. It is being renewed along with your spirit. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers, as 3 John chapter 1 verse 2 expresses. That prayer is being answered in you. You are not just becoming healthier, you are becoming holier. And this alignment of mind, body, and spirit will prepare you to carry more light, more truth, and more divine authority than ever before. At the conclusion of these 4 holy evenings, you will no longer identify the edition of yourself that formerly bore the load of ancient injuries, terror, and restriction. Something has altered eternally. You'll ascend with a buoyancy you've never experienced previously, not merely materially, but metaphysically. Your physique will have finished a deep purification, expelling stagnant forces and age-old loads that formerly dulled your brilliance. You'll sense more vital, more vigilant, and more linked than previously. But this metamorphosis isn't limited to the material. It extends into each stratum of your entity, intellectual, sentimental, and metaphysical. The manner you reason, the manner you sense, even the manner you regard existence itself will alter. Your viewpoint will commence to elevate out of shortage and into plenty. Where formerly you perceived restriction, now you will perceive infinite potential. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, as Romans chapter 12 verse 2 advises. This renewal is not coming. It's already happening within you. Your connection to the divine will deepen into something intimate, something unshakable. You won't just believe, you will know. And with that knowing will come confidence, the quiet confidence of someone who no longer begs the universe for change, but co-creates with it. Your faith will move from the pages of theory into the reality of manifestation. Are you prepared to articulate elements into reality, not with compulsion, but with belief. Accept this ultimate alteration with profound thankfulness and delighted expectation. The individual you were merely days prior will seem like a remote recollection, like an aged covering you've discarded to disclose the splendor beneath. The authentic you, the one the Lord perceived from the outset, the one the globe has anticipated. For so long you walk this earth unaware of the hidden powers buried within, not because you lack them, but because they were waiting for divine timing, for spiritual maturity, for the moment when heaven whispered, "Now." That moment, chosen one, is here. Over the course of these 4 transformative nights, those dormant powers are rising to the surface slowly, at first, then suddenly. And you will begin to realize, maybe with awe, maybe with tears, just how much strength, wisdom, and divine energy has always lived inside you. These endowments aren't far-off esoteric notions. They are functional, they are palpable, they are genuine. Have you already started to observe it? That your inner sense is keener, that you're conceiving ideas that resemble sacred transmissions, that your capacity to materialize has strengthened. What formerly appeared unattainable is now being delicately positioned in your grasp, not as compensation, but as recollection. Now, to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us, as Ephesians chapter 3 verse 20 emphasizes. That power is no longer hidden. It's rising within you now. You're not just waking up, you're activating. You're not just becoming better, you're becoming whole. These sacred abilities you're uncovering aren't outside supplements. They're components of your initial blueprint, fragments of your essence that are now reactivating. All that's necessary is your readiness, your yielding, your confidence. And the instant you affirm yes to this rousing, the heavens start to resonate your consent. Author and humanitarian Jean Houston once described human potential as a sleeping giant. She said, "We are literally coded with abilities far beyond what we've dared to imagine." And isn't that exactly what you're experiencing now? Your code is being unlocked. Your giant is awakening. Your light can no longer be dimmed. While this metamorphosis secures into your physique, your dynamic realm, the unseen yet potent energy enveloping you is likewise experiencing a total renovation. The interference is dissipating. The thickness is elevating. You're oscillating at a rhythm that summons sharpness, grace, and synchronization. Don't be astonished if individuals commence to detect something distinct about you. They might lack the terms for it, but they'll detect it, and so will you. You are advancing into an edition of yourself that is sacred by blueprint, intense in essence, and gentle in core. The insight ascending in you will direct not solely your route, but the roots of others. The strength within you will not dominate, but uplift. You are being transformed into a vessel of light, and the world will feel your presence before you even speak. Now is the time to embrace that light without fear, to use the powers you've rediscovered, not for control, but for healing, not for personal gain alone, but for the highest good of all. You aren't merely altering, you are evolving. And the metamorphosis isn't distant, it is present. As the final layers of your transformation take hold, you will begin to notice subtle yet undeniable changes all around you. The way you feel in your own skin will shift. The way people respond to your presence will shift. And perhaps most profoundly, the way you perceive the world will become clearer, lighter, and infused with divine purpose. You're not envisioning it. Your oscillation is ascending, and with it, your whole existence is ascending as well. Elevated rhythm forces are being attracted to you currently, not by happenstance, but by metaphysical principle. Your inner rhythm, formerly oppressed by terror, uncertainty, and sentimental remnants, is now synchronizing with your authentic sacred character. As a result, you'll begin to notice that things are flowing more easily. The desires you once had to fight for may begin to manifest naturally. Why? Because your energy is finally matching your intention. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you, as Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 promises. That is what's happening now. You're no longer chasing blessings. They're chasing you because you're walking in alignment. Bonds will likewise alter. Certain individuals who formerly depleted your essence or diverted you from your objective might commence to detach. You don't require it. Their exit isn't deprivation. It's a holy purification. And while they depart, fresh souls will arrive, individuals who mirror your illumination, who align with your rhythm, who bolster your ascent. Have you already detected it? That fresh bonds are conveying a distinct type of force, one that seems secure, motivated, and essence-directed. This is not rejection. It is a redirect. The changes you're seeing in your external world are merely reflections of the sacred transformation happening within your energy field. What once fit no longer feels right. What once dimmed your light now feels foreign. This is a sign that you are coming into full resonance with your divine essence. You are becoming who heaven always knew you to be. While your oscillation escalates, your synchronization with your authentic identity intensifies. And when that occurs, the cosmos must react. You will commence to sense supported by a stream of mercy, as if invisible palms are directing your strides. The strides of a virtuous individual are commanded by the Lord, and He delights in their path, as Psalm 37 verse 23 assures. This commanding of your route isn't arbitrary. It is holy orchestration composed prior to your birth. Accept this alteration with confidence. It is guiding you to superior elevations of objective tranquility and potency. You are no longer wandering. You are walking in destiny. This transformation is not an accident. It is not the result of coincidence or convenience. It is a divine assignment. You were chosen for this exact moment in time. The universe, under the guidance of the Creator, has orchestrated every detail to prepare you for this awakening. Nothing you've experienced has been wasted. Every tear, every battle, every silence has led to this threshold. You were never being broken. You were being built. Why now? Because the world is groaning for light bearers. Because darkness has covered the earth, and God's chosen ones are rising like dawn. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. As Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1 declares, you were born for this hour. This awakening isn't only for your benefit. It's for those around you, for those connected to your purpose, for the souls who are waiting to hear the sound of your freedom, so they can remember their own. Your transformation is contagious. Your ascent will motivate others to trust they can ascend as well. You are being furnished metaphysically, sentimentally, and dynamically with all you require to evolve into the individual you were perpetually intended to represent. The force you currently bear will unlock entrances, mend cause, alter environments, and kindle belief. You're not merely acquiring illumination. You're evolving into it. Real-life spiritual leaders like Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who fought for justice with a heart full of compassion, remind us that hope is being able to see that there is light, despite all of the darkness. But what if that light isn't just something you look for, but something you carry? What if you are becoming the answer to someone else's prayer? You are ascending currently, not to be venerated, but to proceed, not to dazzle, but to direct, not to control, but to assist. The metamorphosis you're experiencing is for the advantage of eras. The heavens have designated this period for you to be disclosed. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even the discomfort, even the letting go, even the things that don't make sense yet. This is your moment to surrender, to trust, to expand. This is not the end of your journey. It is the unveiling of your true beginning. Therefore, ascend courageously. Advance ahead without terror. The individual you were has vanished, and the individual you are evolving, luminous, roused, sacredly synchronized, is prepared to assume their position. You may have already begun to notice unexpected changes stirring within you, moments of sudden inspiration that seem to strike out of nowhere, a deep, unshakable knowing rising from your spirit, physical sensations that leave you wondering what's happening beneath the surface. These are not random occurrences. These are sacred signs. Your divine evolution has already begun, and whether you realized it or not, you are already walking in the unfolding of something extraordinary. Have you sensed your force altered during instances of quiet? Have you discovered yourself retreating from specific settings that formerly seemed known? This isn't avoidance, it is readjustment. What you're encountering now is the readjustment of your essence as it reverts to its initial rhythm. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone. The new is here, as 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 conveys. These are not just poetic words. They are the reality of what's happening in your spirit. Perhaps you've sensed a sudden sensitivity to your surroundings. Lights feel brighter, sounds sharper, emotions more intense. You might even find yourself craving solitude more than ever. This isn't isolation. It's consecration. You are being set apart so that the voice of God can be heard without interference. Elijah didn't hear God in the fire or the earthquake, but in a still small voice, as 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 12 relates. And to hear that voice, he had to step away from the noise. Isn't that what you're being called to do now? Bonds might commence to alter without notice. Some will diminish softly, others might conclude suddenly. This isn't a disorder, it's a sacred arrangement. Individuals who no longer aid your development will inherently detach. As your rhythm ascends, so too must the companionship you maintain. This isn't dismissal of them. It's an acceptance of your sacred root. Can you accept that who you were is no longer who you are becoming? There may also be moments when you feel disconnected from your former self, your old desires, old habits, and even your old beliefs. That disconnection isn't confusion. It's clarity. You're not losing yourself. You are releasing who you thought you had to be in order to become who God destined you to be. This process is not just emotional or spiritual. It is deeply physical as well. Your body is a living archive of everything you've endured. As your vibration rises, it begins to respond tingling warmth, chills, pressure, even light trembling. These are not symptoms to fear. They are signals. Divine electricity is moving through your system, rewriting the very structure of your being. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you? As 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 questions, what happens to temples when glory fills them? They tremble, they shift, they shine. You might fluctuate between weariness and surges of lively force. Certain days might resemble discarding covering. Others like you've entered a ray of illumination. This isn't irregularity, it is elevation. Your physique is acquiring how to maintain a superior metaphysical load. Each surge of alteration is a fresh tier unlocking. Inspirational thought leader Greg Braden, known for bridging science and spirituality, often speaks of this moment as a turning point in human consciousness. He says, "We are the generation of transformation, the first to consciously choose our evolution. But in your case, chosen one, this evolution isn't just a choice. It's a divine appointment. The visions you're experiencing, the metaphysical transmissions you're acquiring, the odd perception that something significant is occurring even when you can't articulate it. These aren't delusions. These are holy alerts that the heavens are engaged in your existence. The sacred isn't observing from distant. It is throbbing through your arteries. You aren't the identical individual you were the day before, and you aren't intended to be. As you let go of the old identity, you are stepping fully into the glorious divine being you were always meant to be. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, as Romans chapter 8 verse 29 specifies. This confirmation is not subtle. It's radiant. It's fierce. It's real. Every change you feel is part of the sacred blueprint unfolding in real time. Your development isn't solely allowed. It is endorsed by the heavens. You aren't evolving into someone novel. You are reverting to who you've perpetually been under the strata, luminous, chosen, potent, synchronized. So accept the perceptions. Greet the isolation. Respect the separations. Commemorate the revival. Because what's occurring in you isn't common. It is sacred. Have you ever felt trapped? Like you were moving in circles, caught in a cycle. You couldn't escape, as if something unseen was holding you back no matter how much effort you put in. That sensation of limitation wasn't just in your mind. It was energetic. And now, in this moment of divine transformation, those walls are about to collapse. The barriers that once defined your boundaries are crumbling. The ceiling that kept your spirit contained is shattering. Why now? Because you are stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. This isn't merely an adjustment in perspective or sentimental recovery. This represents a total reorganization of your material entity. Your metamorphosis isn't figurative. It is molecular. Currently, your physique is experiencing something most folks wouldn't even deem feasible. At the atomic stage, your genetic material is igniting. Your units are reacting to sacred rhythms. Fresh data is being inscribed into your very physiology to ready you to bear more illumination, more potency, more of the Lord's aura than previously. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, as Romans chapter 12 verse 2 urges. But in this sacred hour, it's not only your mind being renewed, it's your body too. You might already be sensing this alteration, uncommon constriction, abrupt surges of forced distress that appears to emerge from nowhere. You're not damaged, you're enlarging. These are the expansion aches of elevation. Just like a kernel must fracture open to evolve into a tree, your physique must liberate the former to create space for the novel. Have you detected how your physique appears more responsive to force? That specific settings feel more burdensome or specific nourishments no longer agree. These aren't vulnerabilities. They are indicators of polishing. You are evolving into a container for sacred aura. The distress you sense isn't a penalty. It is refined and it's effective. The physical changes you're experiencing are deep and irreversible. They are not cosmetic or fleeting. They are embedded in the structure of your being. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your immune system is aligning with divine rhythms. Your cells are becoming receptacles of higher wisdom, spiritual insight, and holy energy. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you? As 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 reiterates, that temple is being renovated right now. Walls are being torn down. Hidden rooms are being discovered. Altars are being rebuilt. And when the Spirit moves in fully, you will not walk. You will radiate. Respect this physique. Respect its indicators. Consume liquid that cleanses. Consume nourishments that sustain. Repose when your essence indicates repose. Shift when your physique detects the rush of sacred impetus. This isn't frailty. It is yielding to the holy cadence of restoration. The next 4 nights are not just symbolic. They are a divine cycle of purification. These nights have been ordained as a time of deep release. God is cleansing you from the inside out. Emotions you thought you had buried may come to the surface. Old fears, limiting beliefs, and energetic weights may rise, but only to be expelled. Are you willing to face them as they come? Can you sit in discomfort knowing that every tear, every tension, every surge of emotional unrest is part of your divine cleansing, just as David cried out in Psalm 50? Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. You too are being purified not only in heart, but in body and spirit. This cleansing is deep. It is sacred. It will shake you, but only so that it can free you. You may feel overwhelmed. You may wake up in the night feeling unsettled. But understand this: what is leaving you now was never meant to stay. You are not being emptied to be left barren. You are being emptied to be filled. And what awaits you on the other side of this release is a version of you so radiant, so aligned, so deeply grounded in divine purpose that your past self will feel like a shadow. Your fresh dynamic realm will draw illumination, grace, sharpness, and individuals who align with your elevation. This metamorphosis isn't solely readying you for your personal growth. It is outfitting you for your sacred duty, because you aren't ascending merely for yourself. You're ascending for the globe that requires your illumination. This liberation isn't merely for tranquility, it is for potency, and your period is present. Throughout these 4 sacred nights, you may begin to notice profound shifts, not just in your physical body, but in your thoughts, your emotions, and even the way you perceive life itself. Long-forgotten wounds might resurface. Patterns you thought were buried may emerge. Old relationships or familiar situations that once brought comfort could suddenly feel heavy, distant, or misaligned. These aren't setbacks. They're signs. You're not regressing. You're being encouraged to release. Are you sensing it? That internal prompt to liberate what no longer suits the individual you're developing. The disquiet isn't penalty. It is sacred trimming. Every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit, as John chapter 15 verse 2 notes. What feels like loss is actually preparation for expansion. This process of purification is not always gentle, but it is always sacred. As you allow these old layers to fall away, you are making space for new energy, new opportunities, deeper connections, and a radiant alignment with your divine purpose. The more you let go, the more clearly you begin to see who you truly are beneath the noise. If you discover yourself sensing uneasiness, whether sentimentally, intellectually, or materially, comprehend that this forms part of the metamorphosis. You are discarding what no longer aids your supreme summons. You're ultimately liberating from shackles that formerly escaped notice because you had adapted to exist with their load. That distress you sense now isn't defeat. It's proof that the barriers of restriction are collapsing. Do you remember how the Israelites felt just before crossing the Red Sea, trapped between an enemy and the unknown? Many feared they would perish. But it was in that moment of pressure that the miraculous path opened, as Exodus chapter 14 illustrates. Could it be that your current tension is actually the threshold of your breakthrough? The distress might assume numerous shapes: weariness, worry, bewilderment, or even irritation. But these perceptions aren't your adversaries. They are indicators that your former identity is creating space for the appearance of something sacred. When profoundly implanted force commences to shift, the whole mechanism must adapt. And that adaptation, while essential, can seem bewildering. It's akin to a larva in the chrysalis. The procedure of evolving into the moth isn't elegant or simple. It is a struggle of regeneration. But the conflict is holy, and the result is liberty. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? As Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19 inquires, God is doing a new thing in you now. And though the cocoon may feel tight, your wings are forming. Author and spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle once wrote, "Some changes look negative on the surface, but you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge." Isn't that exactly what's happening in your spirit right now? The crucial element in this instant is yielding, rather than opposing the distress inclined toward it. Inquire what it's attempting to reveal to you. Is there something you're clinging to that's requesting to be liberated? A design you've surpassed? A conviction that no longer aids your evolution? When you accept the distress as sacred guidance, you authorize yourself to completely engage in the metamorphosis. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to step forward. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. And as you continue through this process, you'll begin to notice the light returning, not from the outside, but from within. The fog will begin to lift. Peace will begin to settle. Clarity will return. And when it does, you'll see that every wave of discomfort was a messenger preparing you for your emergence. You are being liberated from what existed, and you are being readied for what will exist. The distress is the entrance, and beyond it is a liberty so unadulterated, so potent, that the individual you were will scarcely identify the individual you're evolving. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, as Psalm 30 verse 5 comforts. These 4 nights may stretch you, but they are ushering you into your morning. So take a breath, release the old, let the discomfort pass through you, like wind through open hands, because the breakthrough is coming. And soon, very soon, you will rise lighter, freer, and more in tune with your divine essence than ever before. Have you ever felt as though something sacred was stirring inside your body? Something beyond your understanding, something you couldn't quite explain or control? Perhaps there were moments when you sensed waves of heat coursing through you, gentle tingling in your fingertips or spine, or a subtle but undeniable electrical current humming beneath your skin. These sensations are not coincidences. They are signals, and they are pointing to one undeniable truth. Your physical body is awakening. What you're experiencing now is far beyond ordinary biology. Your body is not malfunctioning. It is recalibrating. These waves of energy are not disruptions. They are the evidence of divine frequency taking root within you. As your body begins to align with the light of heaven, it becomes a vessel for higher vibrations. These sensations, strange though they may feel, are signs that your transformation is not only happening, but accelerating. Your body is vibrating at a new level, and that shift can sometimes feel overwhelming. And yet every moment of warmth, every pulse of electricity, every breath that feels infused with something unfamiliar is a declaration from heaven. You're changing. You're no longer who you once were. You're becoming who you were always destined to be. Scripture reminds us, "But we all with unveiled face beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory," as 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18 portrays. That transformation is not just spiritual. It is physical, emotional, cellular. Your body is shedding the energy of the old self, removing blockages that once kept you bound in fear, doubt, or stagnation. Every vibration moving through you is a cleansing current, clearing out space for divine purpose to dwell. And yet, it's natural to wonder, how can I manage something so powerful? What if I'm not ready? The truth is, you don't need to control it. This process is not meant to be managed. It is meant to be trusted. Your body is wise, designed by the Creator with divine intelligence. It already knows how to hold what heaven is pouring in. Like a vessel shaped by the potter's hand, it is being prepared to carry a new level of spiritual fire. When you yield to these perceptions rather than opposing them, something exquisite commences to occur. The terror diminishes, the stream amplifies, and the metamorphosis reveals with enhanced simplicity and sharpness. The crucial is not to combat the force, but to permit it to instruct you. Allow it to demonstrate what's being liberated, what's being mended, and what's being generated. As these energies continue to move through you, you will begin to notice that your inner world is changing just as dramatically as your physical sensations. Your thoughts become clearer, your intuition becomes sharper, your heart becomes softer yet stronger. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. As Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3 guarantees, that tranquility arrives when you cease attempting to command what was never intended to be compelled, and commence permitting what was perpetually intended to stream. This path isn't merely a minor modification, it's a total rousing. The individual you are evolving is far more potent, perceptive, and synchronized than any addition of yourself that subsisted previously. You are unlocking your divine potential that has always been within you, waiting for the veil to lift. Spiritual leader Dr. Joe Dispenza once said, "When you change your energy, you change your life." And that is exactly what you're experiencing. Your energy is no longer echoing the pain of the past. It is radiating the truth of who you really are. And as this inner shift deepens, the outer world begins to respond. People, opportunities, clarity, and divine connections start to show up, not because you're chasing them, but because your frequency now calls them in. You are currently advancing into an edition of yourself that the globe has never witnessed previously, but the heavens have recognized all along. With each terror liberated, with each former routine yielded, with each stratum of restriction discarded, you are creating space for your authentic persona to radiate. This is the appearance of your illuminated physique. This is your essence being incorporated in complete consciousness. Can you feel the difference? The spaciousness, the lightness that is not temporary. It is transformation, and it will only continue to grow. The capability inside you possesses no upper limit, no boundary, no termination. And while you proceed in this fresh persona, grounded in sacred verity and oscillating in sacred potency, you will observe entrances open prior to you that you never even recognized. The appropriate individuals will locate you. The appropriate responses will come. The appropriate chances will reveal. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of your divine becoming. By the end of this sacred transformative period, you will look back on who you once were, not with regret, but with wonder. You will see how far you've come, how many layers have fallen away, and how your spirit has expanded into something far greater than you thought possible. The version of yourself now emerging is not simply an upgraded version of the old you. It is the divine embodiment of the purpose God placed within you before you were even born. You are stepping into the person heaven has always known you to be, bold, radiant, awakened, and aligned. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 affirms, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." That version, the real you, has been waiting patiently beneath the surface, and now it is being unveiled. This transformation is far more than a moment of clarity or a change in habit. It is a divine reset, a total system reboot. Everything that once bound you to the limitations of the past, old beliefs, inherited patterns, trauma, fear is being cleared away. Not because you failed, but because you're finally ready for more. Have you ever experienced that profound inner nudge, as if the very fabric of life itself was gently but insistently calling you to pause, to step back from the relentless rush of daily existence, and to take a deep, honest look at everything around you. It's like the universe is whispering, or sometimes shouting, for you to halt in your tracks, to reevaluate every aspect of your world, from your habits and relationships to your deepest beliefs and aspirations. And in that moment, it urges you to release those things that have long defined who you are, even if they've provided a false sense of security, a comfortable illusion that kept you anchored, but also limited. Perhaps it's an old job that no longer ignites your passion, a relationship that's grown stagnant, or self-imposed boundaries that once felt safe but now feel like chains. That sensation, that quiet yet powerful pull, is the sacred refresh in full motion. It's not here as some form of punishment designed to chastise you for past mistakes or shortcomings. Nor is it meant to confuse or disorient you, leaving you adrift in uncertainty. Instead, it's a benevolent force present solely to emancipate you, to free you from the weights that have held you back, to liberate your spirit, so you can soar into the fullness of who you're meant to be. This refresh, this divine intervention, isn't something optional that you can simply ignore or postpone for a more convenient time. It's an inevitable part of your journey, woven into the tapestry of your soul's evolution. And if you're truly candid with yourself deep down in the quiet corners of your heart, you recognize that you don't truly desire to revert to the person you used to represent the version of you that was smaller, more constrained, perhaps even shadowed by unfulfilled dreams. The agony of unhealed wounds, the constant feigning of happiness or strength, when you felt neither, the relentless stress that drained your energy and clouded your vision. It all no longer suits the emerging you. Those elements feel outdated, like ill-fitting clothes that once served a purpose, but now restrict your movement. The distress you're sensing right now, that uncomfortable stirring within, is actually your essence, extending outward, reaching into fresh realms of possibility, enlarging and expanding into a deeper, more authentic verity, a truth that's been waiting for you all along, ready to unfold in ways you couldn't have imagined. This moment, this pivotal shift, isn't signaling the conclusion of your path, the end of your story, where everything fades into oblivion. Far from it, it's the dawn of something entirely new. This is your blank slate, a clean canvas wiped free of the smudges and scars of yesterday, inviting you to paint a future that's vibrant and aligned with your true calling. It's your fresh commencement, a rebirth, where old cycles break and new beginnings bloom with promise. Above all, it's your sacred restart, a holy opportunity orchestrated by the divine to reset your course, realign your energies, and propel you forward with renewed vigor. Picture it akin to a lush garden, being meticulously trimmed by a master gardener, the sacred force at work carefully clipping away each lifeless limb that no longer bears fruit, severing every poisonous base that's been sapping your strength from the roots, and removing each excess growth. Those overgrown vines and weeds that have entangled your progress and prevented the warm, nourishing sunlight of your essence from penetrating deep into the soil of your being. Just as a gardener prunes to encourage healthier growth, stronger branches, and more abundant harvests, so too is this process designed to cultivate your inner landscape, ensuring that nothing hinders the light of your spirit from shining through unfiltered and brilliant. Behold this truth. See, I'm doing a new thing now. It springs up. Do you not perceive it, as Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19 queries, challenging us to open our eyes to the fresh work of the divine unfolding right before us? In this scripture, we're reminded that God is actively at work bringing forth something novel and life-giving, even if it's just beginning to emerge like a tender shoot from the ground. And in your life, what's being removed? Those outdated habits, toxic influences, or limiting mindsets isn't a loss to mourn, but a necessary clearing, only making space for what's coming next. More clarity to see your path with crystal clear vision. More peace that settles deep in your soul, like a calm sea after a storm. And more divine alignment, where every step synchronizes perfectly with the greater plan laid out for you since the beginning of time. This isn't subtraction for the sake of emptiness. It's preparation for abundance, creating room for blessings, insights, and connections that will fill your life with purpose and joy. However, it's important to acknowledge that this procedure of renewal isn't perpetually seamless or effortless, gliding along without any bumps or challenges. There might be periods, days, weeks, or even fleeting moments when a fog of bewilderment descends and obscures your ideas, clouding your thoughts like a thick mist that makes it hard to see the way forward. There could be instances when everything that once felt solid and known commences to diminish, fading away like shadows at dusk, leaving you in a space of transition that feels unfamiliar and unsteady. In those times, you might find yourself pondering deeply, wrestling with questions like, who am I truly evolving into amidst all this change? Why does everything around me seem so unclear, so shrouded in mystery? But take heart, these inquiries, these moments of introspection and doubt aren't indicators of frailty or failure on your part. They don't mean you're weak or unworthy. Instead, they are powerful evidence that your former designs, those ingrained patterns of thinking, behaving, and reacting that have shaped your life up to now, are finally dismantling, breaking apart to make way for something stronger and more authentic. In this transformative shift, you are consciously moving from a state of unconscious reaction, where life happens to you and you respond on autopilot, driven by old fears or habits, to one of conscious creation, where you actively shape your reality with intention, wisdom, and divine guidance. This is the sacred moment between what was the familiar but limiting past and what will be the promising but yet to be revealed future. It's a holy in-between space, a liminal threshold where the grip of the past no longer holds power over you, releasing its hold so that the future can begin to form in divine order, unfolding according to a plan that's far greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. Embrace it as a bridge, a necessary passage that connects the old to the new, filled with potential and grace. So I encourage you to accept this sacred refresh with unwavering bravery, stepping into it with a heart full of courage, even when the path feels daunting. It might not prove simple. There will be challenges, moments of resistance, and tests of your resolve, but it is absolutely vital and essential step that cannot be skipped if you want to reach your highest potential. Because what anticipates you on the opposite side of this yielding, this surrender to the process, is a profound sense of completeness, where all parts of you integrate harmoniously, a surge of potency that empowers you to overcome obstacles with ease, deep insight that illuminates your decisions, and a clear objective that gives your life meaning and direction. It's a wholeness that touches every area, mind, body, and spirit, transforming you from the inside out. Know this, you're not just being refined, polished like a rough stone into something smoother and more beautiful. You're being revealed, unveiled in all your glory as the masterpiece you were always meant to be. In the quiet of your reflections, you may have quietly asked yourself, perhaps in moments of solitude or during sleepless nights, what is actually happening to me? Why do I feel this profound shift stirring within? The answer is beautifully simple and profoundly sacred. You are waking up from a long slumber of complacency or distraction, opening your eyes to the truths that have always been there. You are remembering the divine spark that was placed in you at creation, the forgotten dreams and purposes that define your soul. You are returning to the highest version of yourself, the one crafted meticulously in the image of God, imbued with divine light that shines eternally and fully equipped and ready to walk in destiny, stepping confidently into the role that only you can fulfill in this world. And once this refresh is finished, once you've navigated through the process and emerged on the other side, nothing in your life will remain identical. Everything will be touched by this change, infused with new energy and perspective. You will not solely perceive yourself distinctly, seeing your worth and potential in a fresh light. You will shift distinctly through the world, moving with grace and intention, rather than haste or hesitation. You will articulate distinctly, speaking words of power, wisdom, and encouragement that uplift others. And you will trust distinctly, believing with unshakable faith in the divine plan unfolding around you, the globe surrounding you. The people, places, and circumstances will inevitably detect the alteration, sensing the shift in your presence, the radiance that now emanates from you like a beacon. Because when God's chosen one ascends, rising to their full stature in spirit and purpose, all things around them alter too. The atmosphere changes, relationships evolve, opportunities multiply, and the ripple effects touch lives far beyond your own. Beloved, if you've journeyed with me and made it this far through these words, absorbing their message into your heart, know this with absolute certainty. Your transformation is undeniably real. It's not a fleeting illusion or a product of wishful thinking. You're not imagining it. The changes you're feeling are tangible and profound. You're not alone in this process. Divine guidance, angelic support, and a community of fellow seekers surround you, even if unseen. You are rising, elevating in spirit, soul, and body into the divine masterpiece that God has always intended you to be, a work of art, sculpted with infinite love and precision. The old ways, the outdated versions of yourself, have gracefully fallen away like autumn leaves, making room for new growth. And in their place, something truly glorious is awakening within you, a vibrant, empowered essence that's been dormant, now stirring to life with purpose and passion. This is not just about personal change, a superficial tweak to your habits or mindset. This is a divine calling, a sacred summons from the heavens, inviting you to step into your higher role. You are being meticulously prepared through trials, insights, and revelations to walk in purpose with clarity and conviction, to speak with authority that resonates and inspires, and to move in perfect alignment with the boundless power of heaven itself, where every action you take echoes eternity. And once this unfolds, nothing will ever be the same again. The world as you know, it will transform, colored by your renewed vision and unbreakable spirit. Type 000 in the comments if you receive this message into your spirit, letting it resonate deeply and affirm your readiness for what's ahead. Declare it boldly with conviction and faith. I am ready to embrace this change. I am chosen for a greater destiny. I am transformed, renewed in every way. And whether you choose to give or not, from the depths of my heart, thank you. Thank you for showing up, for being present in this moment and engaging with these words. Thank you for being an integral part of this journey, walking alongside others on the path to transformation. Thank you for allowing your spirit to be stretched beyond its comfort zones, refined like gold in the fire, and reborn into a stronger, more luminous version of yourself. Don't forget to like this video if it resonates with you. Subscribe to the channel to stay connected to more messages of hope and empowerment, and share this message with someone who needs to hear it right now. Perhaps a friend, family member, or colleague who's feeling stuck or searching for meaning. You could be the divine confirmation they've been praying for, the spark that ignites their own journey. May divine peace rest upon you like a gentle blanket, soothing your soul and calming any storms within. May your transformation continue with unstoppable power and abundant grace, guiding you through every step. And may everything that has been delayed in your life, opportunities, blessings, breakthroughs be released into your path in perfect timing, aligning with the divine rhythm. God bless you abundantly, chosen one. Until next time, walk confidently in your light. Rise triumphantly in your purpose, and never forget that you were born for this exact moment, equipped with everything you need to fulfill your sacred role.